At some point, we all hit that moment where we ask, what am I actually doing with my life? But today, we're going to go a little deeper. We're not just asking the question, we're going to explore how we can build a life that really feels meaningful. And honestly, it's probably the most important project any of us will ever take on. So let's just get right to it. Have you found your purpose? I mean, wow, that question can land like a ton of bricks, can it? It feels so huge. And if you don't have a quick answer, it's so easy to feel kind of lost. A lot of the time, we treat this whole search like we're on some kind of quest for buried treasure, right? We have this idea in our heads that there's this one, single, shiny purpose hidden somewhere out there, and our only job is to find that one magic chest. But what if the map isn't some ancient, cryptic scroll you have to decode? What if it's actually way simpler and a lot closer than you think? Let's dive into a totally different way of looking at this whole thing. Okay, so first things first, we absolutely have to tear down a huge myth right now. And that's the idea that purpose is supposed to strike you like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. I mean, we've all been fed this story, right? The big aha moment. You're just living your life, maybe grabbing a coffee, and then, bam, the clouds part, a choir of angels sing, and your entire life's calling is just revealed to you in this single blinding flash. It makes for a great story, for sure, but what if it's just plain wrong? What if waiting around for that lightning bolt is the very thing that's holding you back? See, it turns out purpose isn't really something you find at all. It's something you build. It reveals itself to you gradually, piece by piece, through the things you do, the challenges you face, and those rare moments where you actually stop and think about it all. So, okay, if we're throwing out the old treasure map, what do we use instead? Well, we start by learning how to read our own inner compass. Believe it or not, your life is already sending you signals, all the time. And here's a really powerful thought. Your inner compass doesn't just have one needle, it has two. The first one, yeah, it points toward what excites you. That's your passion. But the second one, and this is so important, it points to what frustrates you. That frustration, that anger, that's a huge signpost showing you what you care about so deeply that you want to fix it. Really, this all boils down to self-awareness. It's about knowing what you're naturally good at, sure, but it's also about giving yourself permission to explore your passions, even if they seem kind of random or silly. And maybe most importantly, it means you have to intentionally step into the unknown. Because let's be real, your purpose is rarely going to be found just sitting on your couch in your comfort zone. All right, now for something that might sound a little backwards. The clearest directions in life, they often don't show up when everything's going great. They show up when things get really, really hard. I mean, think about it for a second. When a major challenge hits your life, it forces you to question everything. And that whole process, it just strips away all the stuff that doesn't matter and makes you see what truly matters with crystal clarity. And right there, in that moment of clarity, that's when a path forward usually starts to appear. And hey, it's not just about getting clarity either. It's about what you find in yourself. When life pushes you to your absolute limit, you discover a kind of strength inside you that you honestly never ever knew you had. Okay, so up to this point, we've been looking inward, right? At our own compass. But there's this other massive piece of the puzzle, and you can only find it when you turn your attention outward. I'm talking about the power of contributing to something bigger than yourself. Whenever we hear that phrase, make an impact, our minds immediately jump to something huge, something epic. Like, oh, I have to change the entire world. And that kind of pressure, it's completely paralyzing. Who can even start with that? But what if we just reframed that? Instead of trying to change the entire world, what if you just focused on changing someone's world? All of a sudden, the scale becomes human. It becomes manageable, and it becomes so, so deeply meaningful. And that is purpose in action. See, it's not about these grand, heroic gestures. It's about finding real, genuine fulfillment in the small, consistent things you do that add value to the people around you. It could be as simple as helping a neighbor, or building something useful, or even just taking the time to truly listen when a friend needs to talk. And all of this brings us to the final, and maybe the most crucial, shift in how we think about this. Your purpose, it's not some trophy you win and then stick on a shelf to admire. It's a living, breathing part of your journey. So here it is, the old way versus the new way. We have to stop seeing purpose as some fixed destination that we have to reach. Instead, we need to start seeing it for what it is, an ongoing journey.
one that changes and grows and evolves right along with you.
Because in the end, living a meaningful life isn't about having one single perfect answer to the question, what's my purpose? It's about living with intention, it's about acting with clarity, and it's about staying open to wherever your path leads you next. So if we agree that it's a journey, not a destination, I'll leave you with this. What's your next step?